Hello again, everyone. It's Vince, and this is our update for January 29th, 2026. Let's take a quick look at today's action here. It was kind of an odd day. We started higher and then just completely fell apart and then spent the rest of the day making it back up. These intraday charts up here will sort of give you a snapshot. So we opened higher. We sold off rapidly here this morning. This, I believe, had to do with comments or a rumor going around that the U.S. is about to launch attacks on Iran, and that caused a quick sell-off. And then from there, we started making our way higher. I mean, earnings were a part of this as well, but as you can see, the Dow did finish higher by about 55 points. The Nasdaq down 172, the S&P down 9, and the Russell was flat. Now, futures have opened. It's after 6 p.m. Eastern here. Pretty flat so far, not a whole lot, but they are in the red right now. Crude oil was up nicely today, very strong on that news. So crude oil spiked big time. And here we are, futures opening again, ticking slightly higher, up 30 cents. Gold, which had just taken off, it was up over 300 points. That went negative, and then kind of made its way back. And here we are, up after hours, up nicely again, up 110. Silver did the same thing. I mean, it had just taken off, completely fell apart, and now bounced. Currently, this evening, it's up to 30 here. Bond yields are slightly lower here. The VIX, or sorry, the dollar, which was higher earlier, now moving slightly lower. And the VIX had a wild ride. It had got almost to 20, and then pulled back and is now at 1687. Crypto took it on the chin today as well. Here we are. Here's Bitcoin down 4,800 and Ethereum down about almost 200. So kind of a crazy day there. It also had to do with earnings. I mean, we had earnings last night and a couple of big moves from that. Microsoft, look at the volume on Microsoft and a big gap down here today, down 10% on the day, flat right now after hours. Meta actually posted a nice gain here. It gapped higher, was up 10% on the day. So complete opposites there, also on heavy volume. And this evening after market close, we got Apple, which reported good numbers here, although really not doing a whole lot after hours, only up a buck 47. Visa, I'm not even sure if they reported. Let's see if anything comes out. Well, it looks like they did. I mean, we were up nicely during the regular session here, up 1.5%. It looks like we're down almost 1.5% after market hours. So I'm assuming those numbers weren't very good. On the economic front, we had initial jobless claims, which came in right in line with expectations. So that, um, you know, didn't impact the markets. And as far as earnings going forward, let's see, tomorrow, wow, tomorrow morning we get SoFi, CVX, American Express, ExxonMobil. So some pretty decent names tomorrow morning here. Also get Verizon, Colgate, Charter. So interesting. Tomorrow before market open, actually quite busy for a Friday. We don't see that very often. Now, I have only a couple of charts to share with you here today. One to the long side, one to the short side. So let's have a look. Goldman Sachs looks pretty clean to me here. Just a nice trend, very orderly. And we recently got this dip just below the 20. And here we are today bouncing. Now, we finished at about the midpoint of today's candle, just above the 20 with a buy signal. But if we look at the weekly, looks pretty good. And the monthly looks pretty good as well, with no resistance overhead. So, looks good. Now, normally I would wait for a move above the setup bar high, which is today's bar, and that high is 940 and 12 cents, right? And also, if we draw a line across these highs, right? It makes a lot of sense. That's what we'd be waiting for anyway, is a closeout here. So we need to take out today's high before I do anything with this. But it looks like it's setting up. It looks like a pretty good setup to me. Earnings on this one obviously are a long ways out. Earnings have already been reported, so we're 74 days out to the next earnings report. To the short side, CSGP, CoStar Group. And if we look at this one, we certainly have been dropping for a while. Then we had a bit of a consolidation right along this level, this key level, and we've come back to retest it not once but twice here. And now we get a nice rejection here. We close out near the low of the day. If we look at the weekly, it's pretty ugly. I mean, we came back to touch the 20 and sold right off. And, there's a lot of resistance here. So we came right into those lows and we're rejected quickly. And here's the monthly. And what the monthly shows us is there's a lot of room down here for this to move. And, look at the volume this month, increased volume. So that looks like a pretty good one to the short side. And just to confirm, earnings are still 26 days away. So those are two I'm looking at there. Obviously, if anything develops between the U.S. and Iran, that, could throw the markets off and certainly, or at a minimum, add more volatility here. I mean, there's a lot going on, obviously, but that is certainly that certainly would be news that could impact the market. So keep an ear out for anything on that front. But other than that, it certainly seems like the same themes that we've been talking about over the last few months are still in play. Gold, silver continuing to run here, and now as we're going through earnings season, which let's take a quick glance at what next week's going to bring. Probably the heaviest week of this earnings season next week. Again, more heavyweights like Google, right? Qualcomm, um, Eli Lilly, GSK. Let's see who else. PayPal, Pfizer. Some pretty good names here. Amazon, Strategy, MSTR. So yeah, tomorrow and into the next week, a lot more. Palantir early next week on Monday. So some big names still due out. So keep an eye out for the earnings date whenever we're doing anything new here. But that's about it. We'll keep an eye on these and we'll see if anything develops overnight. And then tomorrow we're getting together. Again, that's Friday, January 30th, 1 p.m. Eastern. Come out and join us if you can. But until then, enjoy your evening, and we'll see you on our next update. Take care.